2022 has been the year of NFTs and the metaverse. With Bitcoin down by more than 40% in the last 12 months, it is NFTs that have kept the belief of the crypto investors in this particular field. There have been NFTs like Bored Ape Yacht Club, NFT Punks, and a few others that have been sold in upwards of $1 million, and also big brands like Adidas, Nike, and few others have ventured into this NFT space and believe this space could grow many folds. But for a normal retail investors, how do we actually identify a top-notch NFTs? How can we predict the next Bored Ape Yacht Club or the next imaginary ones or the next CryptoPunks? In order to answer these questions, today we have with us an expert who is not only an NFT consumer but also an NFT creator. With that being said, welcome to Crypto Bulls Club. My name is Soham. Every day on this channel I teach you how you can make money in crypto. If you like money and crypto, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon. So guys, without further ado, let's jump on straight into the video and let's understand how you can predict or how you can identify top-notch NFTs right at the early stage. So let's jump in. As mentioned, we have Abhishek Bhaskar back on our channel once more for a very interesting session that we have. So as mentioned, title itself that in this session we are going to discuss about how we can find top NFTs early. So Abhishek, thank you so much once again. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for taking out time from you. Thank you for joining us for this session.
Glad to be here yet again. Always a pleasure discussing Web3 stuff with Web3 people. I think that's the best way to have intellectual conversations and the best use of my time as well. So yeah, definitely thank you for calling me back. So that's a huge bonus as well. So yeah, glad to be here and I'm ready to talk.
Always a pleasure having you, Abhishek. So Abhishek, before we jump on to how we can find NFTs and stuff, how do you see the NFT market right now with Bitcoin and other major cryptos in being kind of, in a range bound or kind of being stable? How do you see the NFT space?
Right now, so I was of the opposite opinion, but I am being proven wrong, which I'm happy in a way, because I was of the understanding that there would be the market sales of NFTs would be indirectly proportional to the market action, right? The price action in the market, because what happens is then you get to buy NFTs at a lower price. Right, so for example, the people who bought my NFTs when Tezos was $8, now they get to buy that same NFT if it's available for say $3. Like I think Tezos price was around $3, right? That's at more than a 50-60% discount. So I was under that impression, but again, I'm happy to learn in this space and see how people react to the market. But unfortunately, yeah. So the sales of these NFTs and the sort of quantum has definitely sort of had peaked a couple of months before, and now it's sort of either it's flatlining or it's sort of has a slight downtrend. But I think that is good. There has to be some sort of a healthy correction from the madness of NFTs, which is like spending millions and millions and even billions of dollars into this space. So I think it is a healthy correction. A healthy correction is good. It allows for more people to come into the space. People who've been waiting because it was too costly and now they think it's the right time to sort of get into the NFT space. I think definitely that is there. Artists are definitely uploading their works and getting it out there. That there is no shortage of that. Only thing is the collectors are a little apprehensive, as rightly so. Depending, they need to keep their profits in mind as well. So, but again, the people who collected for the art, they are unbothered by the price action. So they collected for the artwork and they're willing to pay for it. So that is a good thing in the space. Yeah.
Right. So do you see the NFT space taking up, like peaking out again anytime soon, or can we expect this kind of a movement for the next couple of months?
I think I hope it peaks. As an artist, I'm biased towards it wanting to, peak as much as possible, as often as possible. But realistically, I think this is a healthy correction that needs to be there, because again, there are so many NFT projects. I'm not talking about the artworks. I'm talking about the NFT projects. Every single animal is, they made it into a zoo. I think that's another $1 billion idea. So many animals are there, why not start a marketplace called the zoo and sort of, launch all these projects, like how Looks Rare is doing it. Just make call it the zoo, because every single animal is taken advantage of. So I think that there is some maturity happening within the collector base, because people are more apprehensive. They're doing their own research rather than paying 0.15, 0.08, whatever Ethereum, because again, it was a little amount at that particular point of time, so people were aping it. But now people are, becoming more mature. They have better means of researching different NFT projects, and I think that is good, because that is ultimately what is going to allow people to not lose their money altogether, but also sort of, step back and take a look at all these projects. Because even if I change, I can do 100 different versions of monkeys, which is again, I don't feel that is the right way to do projects. But people are making money, and you can't complain there. But there will be some maturity kicking into people, and I think now is that time where people are realizing, okay, fine, I have one major bored ape, I should invest into other sort of apes. So again, regardless of what the utility, if the utility is good, then definitely go for it. But if it is just another PFP project which has no sort of USP in terms of utility, people will realize that, and people are now mature enough to say no to that project, and rather invest a little bit more into projects that have stood the test of time, and they have established themselves as a trustable project.
True. And you mentioned about research, and that is the agenda for this session, right? So for a beginner, like most of our audience are in the beginner phase when it comes to NFT, and even for the crypto space as well. So basically, how can you jot down, let's say 2, 3 steps or 5 steps according to you, because you are a veteran in this space, you have been here for quite some time, you have created your own NFTs, as we had discussed in our previous session as well. By the way, guys, you can see the previous session right here, okay, and where we have discussed all the nitty-gritties about NFTs and all the basics about NFTs. So Abhishek, can you tell us, like, how does one start one's research, and basically how to find NFTs? Like we have seen, like 2021 was the year for CryptoPunks, Bored Ape, and 2022 is not going to be any different. There will be projects which will give which will be in millions, right, which will sell for millions, and there are projects which are selling in millions. But how do we spot them early, right? What is the secret behind that, and what are the steps? Can you please help us in understanding them?
So firstly, the alpha, so to speak, that people give, that is the main secret. There is no other sort of thing. Yesterday I was seeing a meme that another NFT artist shared. He said insider trading, it's another word for insider trading, giving out alpha, if you actually think about it from a technical perspective. But again, that was an interesting take on what alpha actually means in this space. But yeah, firstly, first step is being part of the community, being part of the NFT community, right? That is your Twitter, your Discord, your Clubhouse, and Reddit again, not so much, but still be there so that you can get some feel of from projects. You never know where you can come across all these projects. So for me, it has always been Twitter, and for most of the people I know who are big collectors who are in this space, like one of my Genesis piece collector, he's collected so many different projects. So again, I think he gets his alpha from Twitter, from what I know. So being part of the community is very important, because there you get the noise cut out, and you only get the signal from the people that the people that you follow, right? Obviously, if you want noise, just go to any like Telegram group or whatever it is. Even Twitter has a lot of noise, but the people that when they share the same projects that you are looking into, that sort of builds your trust in the project, saying that okay, fine, it's not just me, even this person who I know is getting into this project. So I think that is step one, being part of the community. Step two is checking out their Discord. Okay, most of the DAOs and these NFT projects, they're built on or they're organized on Discord ultimately. That is where all the conversations happen. So I think being part of the Discord groups and checking regularly whether the team is nice. So whether the team has been doxed. When I say doxed, whether they are known public figures or they are sort of random anonymous
for reviewing
people.
projects, when I also review these projects of these NFT projects, rather, my major emphasis is on whether the team is anonymous or they are showing their face to the real world. Because if they are known people, if they have a face, the trust is built, and
Absolutely.
8 out of 10 times it is not a rug pull kind of a thing, right? So
Absolutely, and just to add a sort of terms and conditions star, it does not mean that people who are anonymous are out there to scam you. There are definitely legit artists and like these NFT projects where the founders are anonymous, but the projects that I've built is incredible. Right, so I think that is definitely that is why this space is so new, because you don't know there are no fixed formulas, like whether I have to do this or this. You can still do this and still make it a good project, or you can find all the bad actors in that space, right? So even there are even known faces who are bad actors as well. So I think that is most important, doing your own research, from being part of the community, being part of these Discord groups, and understanding what the project is. And when they offer utilities that are too good to be true, unless they're established, I think that is another red flag as well. When they're promising so many things but they won't be able to deliver it, I think that is another red flag that needs to be taken. So realistic things which you feel the team can execute is something that you can put your money into, and if you feel there is value. And again, a lot of people invest it without realizing the value or without ever utilizing that particular group. They're just there to flip NFTs. Some people have this beautiful rule of flipping it for 2x, right? So if you keep 2xing your NFTs, within 23-24 steps you're a millionaire. So if you just flip it 24-25 times, right? So again, a lot of people are doing that, but it depends on how quickly you can sort of do those things. So all those things factor into play. And I don't know if having an exit strategy, because it's such a new space, some people just hold it, and sometimes the flow price drops of that particular project, because you held it for too long, and now that sort of energy of that NFT project has sort of gone down. So all these things, it's very similar to the crypto market, where there's that initial hype, and then sort of people sort of understand the realities of it. So all these various factors are there, and a whole bunch of other things, like reading the smart contract. This is for the more technical people, so that they can figure out whether that contract or that project is ultimately a rug pull, where after meeting a certain amount of things, they just rug pull the entire project. So whether it's 25 or 50% or whatever it is. So that's where they promise everything, saying that after 50% we'll get what do you call it, development done, we'll get a play to earn game done and everything. Once they reach that, it's a straight up rug pull. So and the people also check the Etherscan transactions, whether it's being moved to exchanges rather than having it in the treasury wallet. Some people, they move it into what do you call it, their own exchange wallets and sell it off. So all those things sort of factor into this investment.
correct. And you also mentioned about roadmaps, but I have also reviewed few NFT projects on our channel as well. But most of them, probably 9 out of 10 or 10 out of 10 projects have couple of things very, very common in their roadmap. One is basically launching merchandise, right? That is number one. And possibly 8 or 7 out of 10 projects will have a plan to launch their own play to earn and metaverse stuff, right?
Right.
So how, in this category, how do we then differentiate between the good ones? Like there were some amazing NFT projects, like for example, Imaginary Ones, they were good, and there were quite a few others that we have covered. So how do you then segregate those ones from the ones that we like kind of are there to rug pull or just take away investors' money?
I think the major thing is, again, who's behind the project, because again, if you're looking at play to earn games, who's the developer behind the project? Like, what is their background? Did they work in any gaming companies before? things like that sort of all factor into the scenario for play to earn games. And for other utilities, as you said, like merchandise is becoming the next big thing, because everyone needs to wear something, right? Like you're wearing something, I'm wearing something. Wearables, that's the next big utility. So whatever we are wearing in real life, the same thing can be done in the metaverse, and that can be airdropped as an NFT. So people can wear it in their own metaverse, because all these NFT projects ultimately they're building their own metaverse. Example, Bored Ape Yacht Club. They recently announced with their funding that they're building out their own metaverse. So I think that's the logical and easy step, like scalable next step, right? They're not like promising insane things, but 3D models of the t-shirt can be done, which people can wear in Decentraland or other places.
True.
So logical steps like that definitely makes sense. Red flags would be where I offer you exorbitant amounts of things which that I can't fulfill. Like if I tell you after this session I'll give you $1 million, this guy is telling something some random stuff, right? So things like those are red flags.
Yeah, and you spoke of Bored Ape Yacht Club. So just to add on to that, or just to understand, do you feel this is the beginning of NFT projects launching their own tokens with ApeCoin coming out? Do you feel this is the beginning and many others will follow this path as well?
Yeah, I think that is definitely the next logical step for any successful NFT project, right? Like tokenizing their entire company. It's essentially a company, like a project which turns into a company. So essentially it's like how we say hobby turned profession, right? So even in my case, beatboxing turned from a hobby into a profession. Just that way, all these companies, if they have to sort of keep their investors or collectors happy, they have to tokenize it. Otherwise you're personally buying in money from other sort of companies and cryptocurrencies. For example, if you're working with USDT, it's already there, it's already minted, so you have to personally buy it. So here you can tokenize people and make them feel part of the community. Where is USDT? I don't know USDT, I don't know USDC or UST or whatever other stable coins are there, but I know Bored Ape Yacht Club, and I know that it comes with a lot of utilities by buying those tokens or getting airdrop. Like people are getting airdrop hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? So it all depends on that, and it makes sense, right? There are some projects on Tezos which I came across recently called Dogami, 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 where they make augmented reality versions of different pets, and they're building the petaverse. So for pets, and they airdropped, I think, dog tokens, or I don't know what the name of the tokens were, but that got listed on different exchanges, right? So different projects like that are sort of popping up as well, and they have like all these projects that I'm seeing, they have like a good marketing team, and they're actually structured as a company. It's not like a artist doing something and sort of releasing it everywhere. It's an actual company where there's a marketing department, there's a social media department, and different thing. Like artists are doing artwork, the marketing team is marketing the project, so different things like that. So it's essentially structured as a company, and all these companies like the Web3 companies and NFT project companies, they'll eventually structure themselves into a DAO so that they can give control back to the people. Otherwise, there's no difference between Facebook and other companies.
True, absolutely. The DAO is definitely the future, and for many non-Web3 companies also, I feel that DAO is going to be the next big thing. I know that is how they are going to be governed and stuff. That's a discussion for a separate session, by the way. Yeah. So Abhishek, just to understand from you, what do you feel? What are the next 3 NFT collections that you are keeping an eye on, or we should keep an eye on as of now?
I really don't know.
Could be on any chain. Could be on Tezos, Solana, Ethereum. Anything that you feel is worth.
Again, that would be more of a biased answer from my side, because I am I'm more of an artist, right? So I don't personally keep track of a lot of projects. But again, because all these established projects, they're coming out with new stuff. So for me, I'm like a dog seeing different lampposts. I get excited at this, I get excited at that, and different things like that. But from an investor perspective, that is a big no-no. You need to have, you need to be focused. I look at it from an art perspective, but don't look at it from my side. End up losing a lot of money. So I would suggest checking out all the different projects by being part of the community. Obviously it depends on what because even people who are getting into this space, they don't want to get into new projects at all. So some people have that approach of having established. So for example, if Bored Ape Yacht Club is established, they are willing to pay the premium because it is established, right? So they are willing to wait for it, let it become legit, and sort of have people's trust, and then invest even if it's more costlier for them. So that is what people are willing to do. So I'm like personally a Bored Ape Yacht Club fan, and recently I've been following like Dogami's project as well. They seem to be doing a lot of good work, and the way they are doing it, I think that is what is most appealing to me from an artistic perspective. And no, this is not me shilling at all. I just love the way companies sort of structure their drops and the entire process of NFTs, right? Because I myself as an artist, I do it from an artistic perspective. I don't look at it from whether it's going to sell or things that way. That is a person who's well versed in the sales and marketing background. So to see people do that and nail it, I think that is really good. And like the flow price, it was supposed to initially be 50 pesos, or it's like $150 right now. And all these other Tezos projects are around 8 to 9 Tezos, which is like $50, $30, $40. And I was like, oh shit, 50 Tezos is a lot, should I invest? And the moment it dropped, it shot up to, the flow price shot up to 500 Tezos, and like no one was selling below that in the secondary market. So I was like, okay, fine, forget it, I'll never be able to afford it now. So things like that happen, and having a keen eye for that, and having the affordability, that's another major factor. People spend money without sort of understanding what they can afford to invest in projects. So sort of budgeting for different projects, I think that becomes very important as well. Very so good. If you have one Ethereum, structure it into like say top 10 projects or things like that.
Yeah, thank you. And coming to the cost of ownership or affordability, right? Last session I remember we discussed about fractional ownership. Do you think that is coming along 2022?
Yeah, in fact 2 days ago I saw Logan Paul's podcast Impulsive. So where he said he's launching his own NFT marketplace. It's called Liquid Marketplace.
Okay.
Liquid Marketplace, not NFT. Where people, for example, he wears that Pokemon $5 million worth Pokemon card, right? So he said people can own a percentage of that on his marketplace. And I think it's genius because people will pay way more than what he paid for, and ultimately it becomes like a he gets his money back. And that Pokemon card single-handedly helped him so much in this space. So I think it is happening as we speak. And anything even to do with multiple editions of a particular NFT, right? So if I split my one NFT into 14 editions, that becomes a fractional ownership of itself. So even multiple edition NFTs in a way are like the version 1 of fractionally owned NFTs. So I think that's very exciting. But yeah, next logical step for the NFT space would be sort of getting fractional ownership, because the prices are just shooting up so much that it's like you could buy one Bitcoin back then, you can't buy one Bitcoin now, right? You can buy a fraction of a Bitcoin. So even NFT projects, they're becoming that way, where you can't buy one whole NFT right now. If you can't, then buy a fraction of that NFT. So that's what we're progressing towards.
And just one last question. You mentioned about Bored Ape. Are we speaking to one of the owners of Bored Ape?
No. I wish that was true, but no. I missed the thing with Bored Ape, like so many other people, but I know at least 10 to 15 people like I'm in touch with, like I've discussed Bored Ape Yacht Clubs with them. And there was one of my friend I met at NFT Kochi, and I know he's a Board Ape Yacht Club owner, right? So the moment, again, I didn't know how his face looks, and what happens at these NFT conferences, none of us know how each other look like, because we all have PFP pictures on our Twitter, and I didn't know who he was. So he was like, he said his name, and I was like, give me your seed phrase. Like, that was the first sentence I told him, and which I still remember. So I think that's again, I think Board Ape Yacht Club, the utility is so incredible. The way they've structured it, it's beautiful. They've played it beautifully, and I think, again, I hope the floor price drops to a level where I can afford it. But I'm not a Board Ape Yacht Club owner at the moment. If someone wants to donate, please donate it. It's abhishekbhaskar.eth.
Okay, cool. And how
Are you, by the way, is Soham a Board Ape Yacht Club owner? Let me turn the question back to you.
No, definitely not. I am too late, actually, to be honest. And I am too conservative. I am still a little bit conservative, but at the time it launched, did not understand the fundamental value, the value it would add to the portfolio side of things, to be honest. And was late, as most of the people are, right? So
Yes,
how
absolutely.
about your project? How about ABverse? How is it going?
Yeah, it's incredible what is happening in this space. I think since we last spoke, the Valentine's Day drop was the latest piece, the latest Meta Voice piece. After that, IRL gigs took over. As a beatboxer, I had to attend to perform at all these college festivals and events that are happening in India. And there's a next Meta Voice piece that is coming as well, where I want to use my breath, my breathing sounds, to sort of design NFTs. So it was beatboxing
Phenomenal.
and
It sounds phenomenal. Trust me,
yeah,
bro. It absolutely, using your breathing power to design, and wow, it's truly remarkable.
because I wanted to resemble what we as a species went through. That is, humans, like, because of the pandemic, we literally lost our breath. Like, especially to Indians, there were so many people with lack of oxygen that were suffering. They literally died because they couldn't breathe. So I think that sort of stuck in my head, and I was like, it's finally time, because I wanted to wait till we are properly out of the pandemic to do this. Otherwise, it would be insensitive to do that at that time. So I want to do this so that I can remember this particular drop as a time in my life where India was going through all this crazy stuff. Yeah.
Okay, Abhishek, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate this thing. You took out time from a busy schedule. And guys, if you want to learn more about Abhishek's projects, link is down there in the description. And also our first discussion when we covered, the very basics about NFT, that is also in the description below. So you can go there and learn more about it as well. So thank you, Abhishek. Thank you so much taking out time for this. Hope to connect with you soon again. From all our
Absolutely.
community members, thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me, and I hope people get value from this, and I hope they have fun watching this entire episode as well. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.